In the last episode, we followed the journey of Yuto and his budding friendship with Haruka, the most popular girl in the class and the school idol. Their relationship got even more solidified after their trip to Akihabara, where they revealed some emotions and past memories. Now, let's continue the story. Over the past couple of days, Haruka has noticed a change in the behavior of Hazuki, the chief maid of their household. She discussed this observation of hers with Yuto while they were studying together. Yuto, Haruka, Mika, and Nanami hatch a plan to follow Hazuki to find out what is going on with her. They follow Hazuki doing her daily chores on her day off, like going to a soft toy store and then going to some stores. The group gets separated when Hazuki goes into the lingerie store and is followed by both Nanami and Mika. Yuto feels uncomfortable, so he leaves them on their own and wanders back. While trying to get away from the store, he collides into a girl of his own age and recognizes her as the same person he collided with during the Akihabara excursion. He helps her up, and they joke about the fact that twice they have collided with each other in the same fashion. They bid each other goodbye, and at that very moment, Yuto spotted Haruka looking for him. He goes to her and asks why she isn't with the other girls, to which she replies that she didn't want Yuto to stay alone. This impacts Yuto, and his feelings for Haruka increase even more. While they were talking, they spotted Hazuki walking by, and they quickly hid and started looking for Nanami and Mika, who, unbeknownst to them, got distracted and started trying out different lingeries. And Haruka opens up to Yuto, telling him about how she and her sister spent most of their time growing up around Hazuki because their parents were always absent. She explains to him how deep a connection she has with Hazuki and how she is basically her entire family. Hazuki goes into a cafe and sits down as if waiting for someone to arrive, which makes both Yuto and Haruka think that she has come here to meet her lover. While they were snooping around, Yuto's sister Haruka found them and started asking him what he was doing. He notices Haruka and begins teasing Yuto by telling Haruka how madly in love he is with her. Haruka starts blushing and Yuto interrupts them, but then Ruko starts telling Haruka that Yuto is very precious to her and she will feel relieved if a girl like Haruka is around Yuto to take care of him. Haruka feels overjoyed by this and talks to Yuto about how she thinks Ruko is very cool and that when she grows up, she wants to be like Ruko. To which Yuto gives a worried chuckle, remembering all the problematic things Ruko does on a daily basis. After a couple of minutes, Hazuki gets up from the cafe and starts walking again, which makes Yuto and Haruka follow her again. After a while of walking, she comes near a store and starts looking through a glass panel. Haruka and Yuto can't see what she is looking at because of the reflection, but Hazuki looks relaxed, so they presume it's something good. Just then, a man in a black suit erupts from the store and starts talking to Hazuki. This surprises both Haruka and Yuto, who come to the conclusion that this man must be Hazuki's lover. Both Hazuki and the mysterious man keep talking and moving inside the shop, to which Haruka and Yuto both make a move towards the shop window to see what Hazuki is looking at. A wedding gown was visible through the glass window, much to their surprise. Haruka learns from this sight that Hazuki is planning to marry, which saddens her because it means Hazuki will leave the family to be with her husband. While they were standing in front of the shop, a lady came out and ushered both Haruka and Yuto inside. They get separated, and a guy dresses up Yuto in a tuxedo, and after a while, Haruka comes out in a white wedding gown. Yuto admires Haruka, and they both compliment each other's looks and take a picture together. It turns out that the shop owner misidentified them as another couple who had made an appointment to check out dresses. Yuto and Haruka start walking back, and Haruka comes to the conclusion that if Hazuki wants to get married and start a family, she definitely should do it, and Haruka is not going to be selfish and try and stop her. Yuto agrees and they go back to her house. They sit down to talk with Hazuki and tell her about their feelings, to which Hazuki smiles and tells them that there is a hardware store above the bridal shop, and the man was the owner of the shop, who was helping her to get her chainsaw repaired. Haruka lets out a sigh of relief and they embrace each other. After a couple of days, Yuto was walking to the school when, around a corner, he collided with a girl who again turned out to be the same girl that he had collided with at Akihabara. They help each other up and laugh it off. Yuto realizes that the girl was wearing the school dress of the same school he goes to, and she explains that she just got transferred to the school and they bid farewell. Yuto arrives in class and sits down on his seat, and it is revealed that the new girl is being transferred into the same class as him and that her name is Shina Amamiya. She introduces herself and the teacher makes her sit beside Yuto. They exchange pleasantries and become friends. Over the next couple of days, Shina starts becoming a favorite of their class thanks to her proficiency at a wide variety of things, such as cooking, reading, sports, music, etc. One afternoon, Yuto was walking with Haruka during the lunch break, and Shina noticed them and ran up to them, unable to believe that she was meeting Haruka. It turns out that Haruka is one of the best pianists in Japan at her age, and she has been consecutively winning the Vienna Open Piano competition. Yuto is impressed by Haruka, whereas Haruka dismisses the praise, saying it is nothing. The next day, the teacher announces a relay swimming race that is going to take place soon, and every student has to partake. They all seem happy, apart from Shina, who looks distressed. We find out that Shina is good at many things, but she doesn't know how to swim. Yuto and Haruka volunteer to teach her how to swim in the school swimming pool, and they start practicing. Shina practices a lot, starts getting better at swimming, and feels confident about the race. On the day of the race, Shina's nerves start getting to her, but after a short pep talk by Yuto, she calms herself down. When her time comes, she jumps into the water and starts swimming decisively towards the finish line, but in the middle of her stroke, she gets a terrible sprain in her leg, which causes her to start drowning. Everyone is shocked and unable to do anything, but Yuto takes action and quickly jumps in the water to save Shina. He is able to save her from drowning and takes her to the infirmary, where her leg is looked at by the teacher. The teacher leaves and Yuto goes in to talk to her and reassures Shina that she tried her hardest, and that's what matters, and winning or losing is just a part of the game. Shina is flattered by Yuto, but says nothing. Haruka offers Shina a ride home with Nanami, and Shina is glad to accept. Haruka and Yuto walk back to their homes, and in the middle, Haruka tells Yuto that it was very admirable and brave of him to go and save Shina, but he also looks a bit distressed. Yuto picks up on it and reassures Haruka that if she ever drowns or is in any trouble, he will definitely save her as well. This brings a smile to Haruka's face, and they start walking again in the sunset, talking about Natsukomi. Finally, the day of Natsukomi came, and both Haruka and Nobunaga gave Yuto a manual to maneuver through the big site, which is the place where Natsukomi is held. Yuto chooses the crudely drawn manual from Haruka over the much better manual provided by Nobunaga. Yuto takes a train to the area and finds out it is extremely crowded because of all the people wanting to go to the Natsukomi. He meets up with Haruka, who is very excited to see Natsukomi, and they move forward. Haruka has come here with a goal to buy a book named Nekobasute, which has a lot of illustrations that Haruka likes. They are forced to stand in a very long line to get inside the place. But once they are in, Haruka gets easily distracted and starts looking around at all the different comics being sold. They hold each other's hands to not get separated and move towards the stall where the book that Haruka wants is being sold. It turns out that to buy that book, they have to stand in another long line, which makes Haruka anxious as to whether she will get the book or not. Just as their turn came to buy the book, a fatty with a bandana cut the line in front of them and bought the last book. This upsets Haruka to the point where she starts feeling weak, and Yuto is visibly angry, arguing that the guy cut the line to get the last book and it shouldn't have been allowed. While taking Haruka outside, he is greeted by a man in a black suit who offers them his book, saying that he was watching them and that what happened to them was wrong. Haruka happily accepts, and we find out that the man in the black suit was Nanami in disguise, and she, Hazuki, and Mika have tied up the fatty and forcefully bought the book from him. While making their way through the crowd, Haruka gets excited to see the people doing cosplay and goes to the front. The guys start taking pictures of her, and it makes her scared and uncomfortable. Yuto jumps in and starts escorting Haruka out of the circle, but the guys block his way. At that point, Hazuki shows up with Nanami and Mika, and they scare all the guys away. Yuto and Haruka make their way back to their home. Yuto drops Haruka off at her place, and she thanks him for the day. Yuto comes back to his own place and is immediately greeted with a call on his telephone. He picks it up to find Mika on the other side, who sounds distressed, saying that something has happened to Haruka. Yuto is confused, but at the same time, his house bell rings. He opens the door to find Haruka standing there, looking scared. And before he could ask anything, Haruka flings herself on him, and they both fall down on the floor. That was it for the recap, guys. Did anybody else see that coming? Let us know in the comments. Also, subscribe and turn on the notification bell to watch the next part of Nogizaka Haruka's secret. Thanks for watching Anime Reborn, and we'll see you guys in the next video.